Welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that separates good videos from unforgettable ones: documentary script writing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to structure your script, keep viewers hooked, and turn dry information into an experience they won't forget. So what exactly is a documentary script? Think of it as a roadmap for discovery. A documentary script is the written plan that guides everything your viewer sees and hears. It combines factual research with narrative storytelling, like a tour guide who also happens to be a skilled storyteller. Here's an analogy that might help. Imagine you're leading someone through a museum. You could stand by each painting and recite its date, dimensions, and the artist's birthplace. Or you could walk them from piece to piece, connecting themes, revealing surprises, and building toward a moment of realization. The first approach is a list. The second approach is a documentary script. A great documentary script does three things at once. It informs, it engages, and it takes the viewer on a journey. Every section should feel like the next step in a story, not a textbook chapter. And here's the truth. Most people think documentary writing is just about gathering facts and listing them out. But the best documentary scripts don't just inform. They tell a story. They make you feel like you're discovering something alongside the narrator. Now let's break down exactly how to build one. Step 1. Choose a clear central question. Before you write a single sentence of your script, you need a central question, the big idea that everything revolves around. This is the anchor of your entire documentary. Without it, you'll end up with a scattered collection of facts that feels more like a Wikipedia article than a compelling video. Your central question should be specific enough to focus your research, but open-ended enough to allow for discovery. A good example is, how did one mistake change the course of modern medicine? This creates immediate curiosity and gives you a clear path to follow. And a poor example might be using the history of penicillin. That's a topic, not a question. It tells the viewer what they'll get, but it doesn't make them want to find out. Think of your central question like the title of a mystery novel. You want readers to feel like there's a puzzle worth solving and that they're going to enjoy putting the pieces together. Step 2. Research deeply, then organize smartly. Great documentaries start with deep research, but research alone doesn't make a good script. How you organize that research is what separates a great documentary from a boring one. Here's the system I use. First, gather everything. Read articles, watch related videos, take notes from books. Fill a notebook or a document with every interesting fact, quote, and detail you can find. At this stage, don't filter anything, just collect. Second, identify the patterns. Once you have your material, step back and look for connections. Are there recurring themes? A clear timeline of events? Conflicting perspectives that create tension? These patterns become the backbone of your script. Third, build an outline using a narrative arc. Even documentaries need structure. Use a simple framework: setup, conflict, resolution. Start with context, move through the most interesting or surprising details, and end with a satisfying conclusion that ties everything together. Here's an example. Let's say you're writing about the invention of the smartphone. Your outline might look like this. First, the setup, the world before smartphones, how people communicated, navigated, organized their lives. Then the conflict, the decades of failed attempts to create a handheld device that actually worked. The false starts, the bankrupt companies, the almost moments, and finally, the resolution, the breakthrough moment, and how it changed everything we do today. See how that creates natural tension. Your viewer now has a reason to keep watching. They want to see how the story resolves. Step 3. Write a strong opening hook. The first 30 seconds of your documentary determine whether a viewer stays or leaves. You need an opening that grabs attention immediately, and there are several proven ways to do this. Option 1. Start with a surprising fact. Did you know that the first computer programmer was a woman who lived in the 1800s? This creates instant curiosity because it challenges what the viewer thought they knew. Option 2. Start with a question. What if I told you that everything you know about history is wrong? This pulls the viewer in by making them feel like they're about to discover something hidden. Option 3. Start with a story. In 1969, a single photograph changed how humanity saw itself. It was called the Blue Marble, and it showed Earth as a fragile blue sphere floating in infinite darkness. This draws the viewer into a narrative moment before expanding outward. What works across all three options is that they all create an information gap, a space between what the viewer knows and what they want to know. Your job is to open that gap early and not close it until the very end. Step 4. Structure your script like a journey. Now comes the main body of your script, and this is where most documentaries either shine or fall flat. The key is to structure your content like a journey, not a lecture. Here's how. Use section breaks to guide the viewer. Break your documentary into clear chapters or sections. Each section should feel like a new episode in a mini-series with its own focus, but connected to the larger story. For example, a documentary about the ocean might be structured like this. Section 1. The surface world, what we see from the shore. Section 2. The deep sea, creatures that live in total darkness. Section 3. The ocean floor, mountains, valleys, and underwater volcanoes. Section 4. Why the ocean matters to you, connecting the big picture to the viewer's daily life. Each section should end with a bridge, a sentence or two that hints at what's coming next. This keeps the momentum going and prevents the viewer from feeling like they're reading a textbook. Keep sentences short and direct. Documentary writing lives and dies by readability. Write in clear, punchy sentences that sound natural when spoken aloud. If a sentence feels awkward when you read it out loud, rewrite it. Use transitions between ideas. Don't just jump from fact to fact. Connect your points with phrases like, "but here's where it gets interesting," or "and this is where the story takes a strange turn." These small bridges make your script flow. Step 5. Add visual cues and B-roll notes. A documentary script isn't just narration, it's also a blueprint for what the viewer will see on screen. That means you need to include visual directions alongside your spoken text. Here's how to do it effectively. Number 1. Write notes for B-roll. B-roll is the supplementary footage, images, clips, animations that plays while your narrator speaks. In your script, mark where B-roll should appear so your editor knows what to show. Take a look at the example on the screen. Number 2. Include on-screen text cues. Sometimes you want to display data, quotes, or key facts directly on the screen. Mark these in your script with clear labels so they're easy to produce later. Take a look at the example on the screen. And number 3. Add pacing notes. Let your editor know when to slow down for emphasis or speed up for energy. Use notes like pause for effect or fast cuts to communicate the mood you want. Step 6. Write a satisfying conclusion. The ending of your documentary is just as important as the opening. A weak ending leaves viewers feeling unsatisfied, like they wasted their time. A strong ending makes them feel like they've gained something meaningful. Here are 3 approaches to closing a documentary script. The full circle ending. Bring your story back to the opening question or hook. If you started with a surprising fact, now explain why it matters. If you started with a question, finally answer it. This creates a satisfying sense of closure. For example, we started by asking how one mistake changed medicine forever. The answer is simple. Alexander Fleming left a petri dish uncovered, discovered penicillin, and saved over 200 million lives. That's the power of an accident done right. The forward-looking ending point the viewer toward the future. Leave them with a thought about what's coming next, something that makes them curious and engaged beyond your video. For example, we've explored how far ocean exploration has come, but here's the truth. We've only mapped 10% of the ocean floor. The next blue marble moment is out there, and it might change everything again. The call to reflection ending. Invite the viewer to think differently about something they take for granted. Connect your documentary's big idea back to their everyday life. For example, next time you pick up your phone, remember this. Every tap, every swipe, every notification is built on over a century of failed experiments and stubborn optimism. The technology in your pocket is the greatest story ever told, and you're living it. Do you see how all 3 endings make the viewer feel like the journey was worth their time? They leave a lasting impression that extends beyond the video itself. Let's walk through a complete mini-script to show how all these pieces fit together. Our central question will be, can a map be completely accurate and still make us totally lost? This script works because it grabs your attention right away by connecting everyday phone apps to a big mystery, how an ancient mistake shaped our world. It then takes you on a clear journey through time, showing how maps went from funny early guesses to tools used by powerful rulers to trick people. Finally, it ends with a thought-provoking question that makes you reflect on your own life, asking if modern tech has made us lose our way. See how each section builds on the last. There's no filler. Every paragraph moves the story forward. That's what a strong documentary script looks like. If your script feels flat or repetitive, run this quick check. Question 1. Does every section answer the central question? If a paragraph doesn't move the story forward, cut it. Question 2. Are you showing, not just telling? Mix facts with stories, images, and moments of surprise. Question 3. Does the ending feel earned? Make sure your conclusion ties back to everything that came before it. Don't just drop a final fact and call it a wrap. If you can answer yes to all three, your documentary script is on the right track. Let's bring it all together. Writing a great documentary script means combining research with storytelling. Start with a clear central question that creates curiosity. Research deeply, then organize your material into a narrative arc. Write a strong opening hook that pulls the viewer in. Structure your script like a journey with clear sections and smooth transitions. Add visual cues so your video has depth and variety. And finish with a conclusion that makes the viewer feel like their time was well spent. The best documentary scripts don't just teach, they transform. They make the viewer see the world differently. Now take what you've learned, pick a topic you're passionate about, and start writing. Your next great story is waiting on the page. If this helped, give it a like and subscribe for more writing tips from Imagine Forest. See you in the next one.